Good. You're live.
All right, so we'll call the April 19th, 2021 meeting for the Signal Mountain Town Library to order. Starting with minutes from the March 15th meeting. Did everybody have a chance to review those?
Yes.
And are there any corrections to be made?
Yeah.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes as they are?
So move.
Is there a second?
A second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we'll motion to approve the minutes passes. Ed, would you like to provide your financial report?
Request, Brett. I know in this area of Zoom, I've never been formally introduced to the new board members. So.
Oh, well, sure. Sorry about that. Well, so I guess Laura and Ron and Barbara are with us. Laura, Ron, Barbara, meet Ed. Ed, meet Laura, Ron, and Barbara.
Hey, Ed.
Hello.
So, okay. On to the financial report. The financial report for March is as follows. The beginning balance for our account is $25,527.84. We had a number of deposits, 2 days of transactions occurring on the 16th and on the 29th. We've had a total of $605 in deposits, donations for the month, which is a good month, which brings our ending balance for the month to $26,132.84. Our monthly Comcast bill, which we started automatically debiting from our account last month, has been paid for the month, but that won't be reflected until our April statement. I should also mention one other thing, which is good information. Since the beginning of the year, we've had a lot of good fortune getting donations for the library. Here with the beginning of the year, our balance was $20,059.44. So just since the beginning of the year, we've had an increase of donations of over $6,000. So it's been a good year so far for our account.
That's great.
That is my financial report. Any questions or any comments? Okey-doke.
No, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good.
Karen, would you like to do the librarians report?
Sure, I'll be glad to. I want y'all to, I'm sure you did notice it, but I'm just going to call it to your attention in case you didn't, that the March monthly report shows that we checked out 3,063 books. That's almost as much as we check out before COVID, which is really a lot. And we also did in the month of March, we had 115 story time and grab and go bags handed out. So that's lots and lots of traffic here, which is good. I mean, because people, keep coming. We also continue to add new members. I'm not sure where they're all coming from, but we're happy to have them join. I mean, it's just amazing. People just call up and say, well, I'd like to join the library. I just moved here. So, anyway, we're happy to have them. For the status of the construction, we're just waiting. Sam referred to that. According to the contractor, he will begin about 10 days from the signing of the contract, which was April the 13th. So that would make it April the 27th. When you think I guess it's just business days that he meant 10 days of. That's why I haven't set a date for the groundbreaking yet, because I really think it'd be best to have the contractors actually here doing something. I'll let you know just as soon as I do. And I'm waiting for Sam to call me and give me an exact date when he finds an exact date. It's just so hard to get this kind of information from people, but everything really has been signed and approved and everything. So we're really ready to go. Apparently we have to have some sort of meeting with the contractor, but I think that's just a formality. And we're waiting to hear when they can do that. I bought a coffee table for the new room from Sarah Swan's estate sale, and it's beautiful, and I think it'll look great. And I'm sorry I didn't take a picture of it so I could show it to y'all, but it's really pretty. And I'm asking you to refund me $147.50 from the money to pay for it. It was a really great deal. I got it at half price of what it started out being, and it started out being about a third of the real price. So it's really pretty. It's just a big plain coffee table. It'll be pretty in the room. We're planning to have our book sale on Wednesday, and if you can come help us, I know some of you already said you could, and we really appreciate it. And if you know of anybody that would like to help, bring them along too, because we really need a lot of people. Y'all would not believe how many books are in the basement. Ron knows, he saw them the other day, and it's pretty amazing. And so anybody that can help, we appreciate. What we're going to do is we're going to have the sale from 12 to 4:30. So if you could come at 11 and help us get them out there, and then maybe come back at 4:30 and help us get what's left over back in, it would be great. I've discussed with the library staff when and how we're going to reopen many times in the last few weeks. And I know that I was supposed to have a plan, but we're working on a plan. It's just very hard. Now, this is what I want to explain to you why. I've checked with lots of other libraries, and most are still doing what we're doing. They're having curbside pickup and no real entry for patrons. I took part in a webinar last Thursday about reopening, and there was no substantive news there. It was put on by the REALM project, and REALM stands for Reopening Archives, Libraries, and Museums. Library people love acronyms. So I always have to write down exactly what they mean, because I never have any idea. This webinar, though, had presenters from the CDC and the Smithsonian and from the Association of Science and Technology Center. So it was really, really good information. Everything they recommended is what we really already know, that we should require masks, social distance, and quarantine our materials. There is some disagreement about the quarantining protocols. Just very recently, this has come up. But most still think it's wise to do this. We now quarantine our materials for 72 hours like we always have, but the Chattanooga Public Library even quarantines theirs for 96. As of April 14th, last Wednesday, the CDC released the following. The virus that causes COVID-19 can land on surfaces. It's possible for people to become infected if they touch those surfaces and then touch their nose, mouth, or eyes. In most situations, the risk of infection from touching a surface is low. And that's the new news, is that they're finally saying that it is low. But they also say that the most reliable way to prevent infection from surfaces is to regularly wash hands or use hand sanitizer. The downtown library, which is still doing curbside pickup, does have specific hours for a limited number of patrons at a time to use the computers and to use their maker space. They're still not letting people come in and browse. As for the libraries that have partially reopened, we checked with the Williamson County Library that is allowing limited browsing, but no children and no looking at magazines or newspapers, and masks are required for them. And the same goes for the Collegedale Library, which is also continuing their curbside pickup. And that is one of the issues that we've considered, is the fact that if we continue the curbside pickup and let people in, it's going to be a little tight, since we don't have we don't have that many employees. But then this is what I found out today, which is interesting. I called Bill Keith at Superior Air. He does our HVAC work, and asked him to give me some info about our air circulation, because they keep talking about that. And they're talking about the fact that the virus is spread by droplets, not more than it is, certainly more than it is from touching surfaces. He came in and looked at everything, and he said, you won't believe what he said. He said, we really have no circulation. We didn't know that. We also consulted with Chuck, who's the building inspector for the town, and he said he didn't know what is required or suggested as far as fresh air requirements. But Bill is going to look at our system some more, replace broken air fans for the bathrooms, and give us some figures. The latest science I've read says that the most important thing we can do is to make it safe for us and for letting patrons in is to have good airflow. And Bill said it probably needs to be much greater since we essentially have none. And we didn't know that. We thought when we turned on the just the fan that we were getting outside air, but apparently we've never had that. So what we propose to do is keep on doing curbside pickup until at least the second week of May. By then, all of our employees will have had both doses of their vaccine for at least 2 weeks. And that's what they say is the safety, 2 weeks after you had your last dose. And then reassess after hearing what Bill recommends. I just was totally surprised by this. We hadn't even thought about it, but all these things I've been reading about how important it is to have the air be better. And I know a lot of schools are redoing their systems. So anyway, Bill is going to give us some ideas about what he thinks. And I've also asked Sam this is what Sam was talking about earlier, to determine if we can require people to wear masks, even if the Hamilton County mandate is ended. And if we can't, and also if we can ask them if they're vaccinated. We know of at least one patron who doesn't want to be vaccinated. So this is an issue for us. Sam is checking on the legality and the liability of requiring masks and being vaccinated. And I don't think anyone really knows much about those things yet. I don't think there's been enough tests, or testing the idea of it. But anyway, we really would love to reopen. We would love to go back to the way we were and really let people in all the time. But we know that when we do reopen, if we do it in May, we'll probably have to do something where we limit the number of people and limit the time that they're going to be allowed to be in, and probably not let them use the computers, because those are very difficult to clean and also that people always need help, and we're really not supposed to have that kind of contact. We'll use our shields, our plexiglass shields, and we'll just try to do the best we can. But right now, we just don't. That's all we really know. So please ask me questions. I'll try my best to answer.
So Karen, about how much real estate in your office does it take, or wherever it is that you're quarantining the materials when they're returned? How much room does that take up?
Well, we're doing it in the children's room, so it takes most of that children's room to do it.
Okay. And so do you anticipate that one of the restrictions that you'll initially impose is to not allow children?
I think probably just if we start as by letting just a few people in, I think we will not let children in at first, because it's just so hard to control what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. Plus, lots of children haven't been vaccinated. And even though we've been vaccinated, I'm sure we're going to have some people that come in that haven't been vaccinated. And I don't know how liable we are for that. I don't know. We just don't, those are things we're checking on.
Yeah. So for the foreseeable future, it would be feasible to continue to let those items sit in the children's area for whatever decontamination period? Well,
I think so, just because that's what the ALA recommends, the American Library Association recommends, and that's what that thing I went to, that webinar that I attended, they still recommend that. And other libraries around here are all doing that, quarantining. I'm not sure how important it is, but people are still doing it. So
I keep hearing a lot of talk about, various businesses working with some sort of a vaccination passport. And so yeah. I think that idea will gain momentum, and we'll be able to kind of follow others' leads on that. And, it won't be such an odd thing. But I'm also curious to see what Sam's research determines about the legalities of requiring masks. My uneducated guess is that that's perfectly legitimate for a town or a private business to continue to require masks, even though, no municipality is requiring it otherwise. I mean, we'll see, but that seems reasonable. I think we could probably require masks. I'm just not sure we can require vaccinations. Because that people have a different attitude about that too. So I don't know. And I'm not sure whether we need to, we don't want to do anything we don't need to do, but we don't want it.
I mean, I feel a responsibility for the staff for keeping them safe, but I also feel a responsibility for keeping some of the patrons that come in. You know, that they're we don't know how fragile they may be.
Mhm.
So
Well, I appreciate you, starting down that path and thinking through it and talking to the staff about it. And sounds like you've made some progress.
I feel like we have, and I feel like we've checked with places that are similar to us and to see what they're doing. It's just a hard subject. It's hard. Nobody really knows.
Mhm.
Okay, Karen?
Yes, Judy.
Yeah. Have you given any any thought to publishing where we stand on opening the library to give
Well,
people an idea that we really are doing this, and this is probably what it'll look like when the time comes?
Well, I was really thinking that we were going to be able to go on and do that right away till I found out today about this airflow issue. And so just as soon as we've had some information from Bill about that then I think we can go on and make some decision. I just don't know whether it's going to be necessary for us to do this or not. And I don't know who's going to decide whether it's necessary. I mean, I don't know whether it's going to be up to us or whether we're going to, there's going to be the health department is going to have some idea, or the CDC or something. Right now, I know that there are schools that are being refitted to have more circulation of air, but lots of places like schools have, like the new schools up here, everything but Thrasher have, most of them have systems that bring in fresh air, or else they have windows that can be open, and we don't have windows that can be open, which is a liability. It's just something we can't do anything about. Only thing we can do is open the front door. So I think
that's interesting that he made that comment. I mean, my limited understanding of HVAC systems is that most don't bring fresh air in. They just circulate the air within, a building.
Well, apparently new ones do.
Okay.
That's what he said. But he said not Thrasher, but he said the other new schools up here do have those already. So, but I think they're schools that are being retrofitted or whatever. We had what he thought was an air circulating system, and it turns out that what it is vent fans in the 4 bathrooms, but they've never run since the last 15 years since I've been here. So I didn't even know we had them. We feel that they must have been connected to the light. When you turn the light on in the bathroom, it automatically came on, but since it didn't ever come on, we didn't even know it was supposed to be there. So so he's going to replace that, and then he's going to see about what he thinks we can do. The fact that we are going to open the side of the library, breach the side of the library to put in the steps that go to the parking lot and the ramp, and also the elevator, does mean that we do have an opportunity to maybe install something at that point that would, because we wouldn't have to open up another place. We could use what we opened for that. So, that may be good news, and I don't know. We'll see.
Did you mention, so what's your guess about time frame?
Well, when he's going to get back to me, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he'll do it as fast as he can. He's got to come repair this fan, and then he's going to investigate what he thinks we can do. And I assume will talk to the architects or the contractors about the holes that whatever he might need. I'm not sure that it'll be that difficult. He didn't seem to think it would necessarily be that difficult because of being able just to tie into what we already have.
But so at this point, you feel like the air circulation is really the only barrier stopping some limited opening?
Yeah, I just think we need to find out about what they recommend. That's all. That and also those questions about the mask and the vaccine, but the mask also, whether we can require people to do that. But and when So I would think if I were, I would say that we could probably open by the second or third week in May if we get good information, good news about all that stuff. We could open on a limited basis. And what we'll probably do is we haven't decided whether we're going to ask people to make appointments or whether we're just going to let a few be in at a time. We don't want to make people have to stand outside and wait. I mean, they can sit, I guess, on those benches, but it's still uncomfortable. So we might have some system where they sign up for certain hours.
Any of you know when the current Hamilton County mask mandate expires?
Yeah, the end of April.
Oh, okay. I suppose it's not likely that will be extended at that point, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. I guess
It
it's just,
actually-
Make it easier.
Specifically, it ends on the 28th, and unless anything has changed, Mayor Coppinger specifically said during his last press conference that it would not be extended past that date.
Okay. Well, that's kind of bad timing.
yeah. But, I guess we'll just have to see. I think
Yeah.
even if he doesn't extend it, I mean, we would probably try to have one for us anyway.
Right.
I think maybe it just makes people more careful. I really feel like that makes you more aware of it,
Mhm.
but, and then we'll have to get some of those stickers to go on the floor, but I mean, there's some library I read about that they were only letting in like 6 people and that's, that may be what we'll have to do is
Mhm.
only let 6 to 10 people in at once.
Right. Well, maybe if you're able to get open by the second week of May, then that will give you a couple of test weeks before the mask mandate, runs out, and hopefully we'll know more about the legitimacy of our requiring people to do that regardless.
Yeah.
Just
All
to be
right.
clear, and I may have just misunderstood what you said, Britt, but I just wanted to be clear. The mask mandate ends in Hamilton County next Wednesday, April 28th. So I just wanted to
April
make sure.
28th.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry if that
okay.
was.
Yeah. No, I got that wrong. I thought you were saying May 28th, but yeah. Okay. Well, then that doesn't help us much.
Mhm.
Thanks for that. All right. Any other questions for Karen before we move on? And so just to take care of it while it's fresh in my mind, and I don't really know what threshold of expenditure requires a vote, but just to be tidy, we could go ahead and vote to reimburse Karen $147.50 for that coffee table. So I move that we reimburse Karen $147.50 for the coffee table she purchased for the new reading room.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye.
All right. And just for the recording, Judy, Britt, Ed, Ron, Laura, and Barbara all voted aye. Motion passes. Is there any old business?
How will Karen be reimbursed? Will I be writing a check out of our fund to reimburse Karen, or how does that get done?
I would assume that we could do that from that operating account. Sam, can you comment on that?
Sorry, I did not hear the question. I was looking at something else. I apologize.
Yes. So Karen purchased a $147 coffee table for the reading room, and we just voted to reimburse her for that. And Ed had the question of where should we pull that money? No reason why we can't pull that out of the operating account. Is there that you know of?
I don't believe so. But maybe
done.
just. I'm sorry, Karen. Go ahead.
I think that's what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Things that were, I mean, it would be like buying some furniture for the room. That's what this,
Sure. Yeah.
what we're hoping to do with some of that money anyway.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay, so that would be for, what's the exact amount? $147 and
And 50 cents.
$147.50. Okay, I'll
Thank
write you a check, Karen. We'll take care of it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Reggie.
Ed.
Is there any new business? Committee reports. Does anybody have anything? And our next meeting will be May 17th.
And I'll mention real quick, if you all don't mind, that was what I was looking up. The authority for electronic meetings actually also ends next Wednesday on the 28th. And we
Okay.
don't know yet if that authority will be extended. I will make sure and let you all know as soon as we know. We probably won't know until a day or two before. I think it's very possible at this point that Governor Lee may also not choose to extend that, putting it more on the shoulders of the legislature, but we don't know that for sure. So I'll let you all know as soon as we know. If that's the case, then next month would need to be an in-person meeting.
Right. Got it.
And I'm sure we can find a way to do that in a very safe manner.
I
Sure.
think we do.
Maybe we'll have good weather and we can meet on the back patio.
There you go.
All right. If there's nothing further, the meeting's adjourned.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.